Hey everyone.
Hello everybody, welcome. Please take a moment to settle in, get comfortable, adjust everything to get ready for today's session. The volume for the music that you're hearing can be adjusted locally on your computer. There's a menu at the bottom of your screen and you can control that based on your own needs. Also, while you're getting comfortable and getting all your settings in order, please make sure that you have some pieces of paper and some markers or crayons next to you, because we're going to need that later today, right? And while we're settling in, please use the chat in the left side menu of your screen and share where we are joining from today. And also share your favorite form of art, the art that's always there to inspire you whenever you need to recharge your batteries or be creative. Cool. So we have people from different parts of the world, and apparently we like painting and dancing and music, listening or to it or singing or drawing as well, photography, painting again. So lots of different variations here, lots of artistic interests. Sorry, it's great to see everyone contributing. Thank you for that. Keep them coming. I'm also going to ask you right now to have a look at the React button on the left side of your screen. Give me a thumbs up if you have used Butter before, or a thumbs down if this is your very... Okay, so we have some newbies here. Let me quickly guide you through the app and see some really nice functions here. You've already discovered the React button. So throughout the session, you can give us, you can choose the right emoji to express your thoughts or feelings in relation to what we have here. Underneath that, there's the Q button. So whenever you're going to have a comment or a question, feel free to raise your hand then, and we are going to be able to invite you to contribute, to open your mic and share your thoughts with us. You can also use the chat throughout the session to communicate with us in writing. And also, if you want to take notes, you have the option to write down your own notes just for your own use. And we're going to be able to share that with you after the session. The M key can be used to unmute your microphone, and the V key, obviously, for turning on and off your camera. All right. So if you're ready to get started, give me another thumbs up so that we know we can move on. Thanks for that. Looks good. Okay, so we have that covered. Now let me introduce myself. My name is Andrea. I'm a coach and trainer and also a Butter community member where I run the Sandbox initiatives together with Maria and Ana Maria, who are there with us in the room. You can wave at the camera, ladies. And as you know, the Sandbox gives us the chance to play around with different ideas or tools or methodologies so that we can learn from each other. And before we dive deeper into today's session, I do want to mention that we're recording this event because we want to make learning accessible to as many people as possible. So we're going to share that on YouTube. So if you're uncomfortable with that, feel free to keep your camera off and communicate with us via the chat and the react button. And now I'm going to actually introduce our amazing host for today, which is Caterina Di Marco. Katka is a learning and development professional. She's passionate about movement and bringing people closer together. She firmly believes that by connecting to our bodies, we can deepen connection with ourselves and others. And ultimately, this makes the world a better place. And as a facilitator, she draws mainly from the expressive arts movement to create enriching process-based experiences. She's also a mom of a one-year-old boy, and she started a learning cluster on empowering working parents within the L&D Shakers community. You can connect with us, with her on LinkedIn. We're going to share her profile in a minute. Yeah, Katka, take it away. The floor is yours.
Awesome. Thanks a lot for the invite, Andrea, and also for the great introduction. Super excited to have all of you here and get into the creative process with you. So yeah, let's just get started. I would like you to have a look at these pictures and pick the one that represents the best your facilitation style. You should be able to put your avatar close to that picture, on that picture. We have the one that suits you the best, that represents you the best as a facilitator or workshopper, or simply as a human being. It's amazing to see it's so diverse. Super happy that everyone has its own picture, and we don't have everyone just at one image. So it's a variety of the people in the room. Okay. So thank you for that. And we can already start with your notebook and a pen. And I would just like you to reflect a little bit on the picture that you have chosen. So write down one word that describes the image. And it can be a metaphor of it. So one simple word or a short phrase that would represent the picture well. Since you have it, so let's move to the next step. So what we have done now is we already dived into the expressive arts process, and I promise that this session is going to be a hands-on experience. So I will not do much talking. We will be mostly practicing and going through simple exercises. But before we start, I would like to give you a short introduction into expressive arts, so you know what we are doing here today. It is a discipline that is promoting emotional growth and healing, and it uses art as a basis for discovery and change. What does it mean? It means that through creative expression, you can actually increase your range of possibilities that you have in life, and also the freedom of choice that you have to make change in your life situation or to deal with the change easier. And that is also why the expressive arts is used a lot as an approach in therapy. It started as a field in psychotherapy, and it's used in consulting and counseling. but it can be also applied to facilitation, which is something we're going to try today. And it's not the same thing as art therapy. So art therapy is usually focused on one art modality. So can be focused on drawing or music therapy or dance therapy. But expressive art is intermodal. So we are switching from one creative expression into another. And that can be fun. It can be also challenging because, as Andrea asked you at the beginning, each of us has like its favorite type of art where we feel maybe a bit more comfortable or that we enjoy. And then there are like these other artistic expressions we might be terrified about, like, oh, I will never sing, I will never write a poem. So this is here a bit to challenge you as well. Obviously, still in a way that you feel comfortable. So this is also how I want to lead the session. If there is something that you really don't want to do and you're like, it's too much, feel free to step back a bit, or also be welcome to share just as much as you want to. Expressive arts mantra, low skills, high sensitivity. So the pieces we will create today are not be in Louvre, but hopefully each of us will be touched in some way. That's my goal for today. And it's a process-based approach. So we start with an intention, but we don't really know where it's going, or at least we don't have a clear idea what the result is going to be. So this is quite exciting, but it's also quite different from other facilitation methods because it's more open-ended. That being said, it brings results. It's not just a useless activity. Yeah, and with that, let's start or continue in the creative process. And I would like each of you to find a comfortable position right now, wherever you are. You can be sitting at your chair or on a floor. Really make sure that you are comfy. If you don't feel like sitting, you can also stand up, because most of us have sit the whole day. So if you feel more comfortable standing up, that's completely fine. And let's just take a minute to arrive to this place, not just physically, but really also with our mind. So let's take a second to arrive. And let's take a few breaths together. They don't have to be particularly deep or particularly long. Just focus on your own breathing and how your breath is at the very moment. You can close your eyes as well if that helps you to focus. I will keep my eyes closed for a little bit because it helps me to tune in into my body. What can help you focus on the breath is also bringing your attention to your stomach or your chest and noticing how it expands with every inhale and shrinks in with every exhale. Take 2 more breaths with that attention. And slowly bring attention to your fingertips, wherever they are lying. They might be touching your legs, or they might be lying in your lap, touching the ground, the chair. Wherever they are, just feel them. Notice what is the surface underneath. If they feel cold or warm, if you feel there is a slight movement or tingling, or if they feel a little bit tensed, maybe. And start to move them slowly, very gently, making little movements in your fingers and lifting them up together with your hands in front of you. So I will now show myself so you see a little bit better and you can follow me in case the instructions I'm saying verbally are not completely clear, but you have your hands in front of your chest, moving your fingers gently And imagine that the fingers are like a seaweed on the ocean, floating, being carried by the waves. Now imagine it's raining and you're catching the rain in your palms, on the top of your fingers, and you feel the coolness, the cold drops landing on your palm. And imagine you're putting a very nice cream on your hands, spreading it, giving your hands a little massage with that as well. And now let's play some piano together. Imagine your favorite song or symphony, and just imagine that we can play it super skillfully. And now let's hold our thumbs to our best friend to pass his exam, thinking of them very fondly. Now let's bring our hands into our face to cover your eyes, as if you're playing hide and seek. And give your face a little massage, mainly in between the eyes, maybe around your jaw. Our jaws are really connected to our hips, so if we are sitting the whole day, they can get very tense. Whatever brings you pleasure at the very moment. Touch yourself gently. And bringing our palms in a praying position in front of our chest, so the left palm touching the right palm. Now I recommend you to close your eyes if that's what's triggering for you. If it feels comfortable for you, and focus on the touch. So do a little scan of your palms, of your fingers, and notice where are they touching each other, the left and the right. What are these points of touch? Maybe you feel the whole hand, maybe just fingertips. Try to map this space. And also feel its quality. Do you feel the high pressure or a very soft touch? Do you feel warm? Is there any difference in temperature between the parts that are not touching and the parts that are touching? What is the texture of your hand, of your skin? Is it soft, rough, a little bit sweaty or dry? And now imagine, I believe that each of you have done it at least once in their lives, probably being a kid, like putting a hand in a pot of color and then making little imprints on the piece of paper or on the wall and leaving these imprints there. So imagine that you have had your hands in a color. What color would it be? What color is this imprint of yours right now, with the quality of the touch that you have at the very moment? and try to visualize it. So making a connection between the touch, the feeling, and a visual idea of it. How would it look like on a piece of paper, on a white wall? Take a minute just to finalize the scan for yourself, to really clearly bring that idea to life. Okay. You can open your eyes when you're ready. And it's the time to nourish your inner artist now. So you have this vision of your touch, and now it's the time to finally use this piece of paper that you brought and crayons or markers. Crayons are better because you can also see the intensity of it, of the drawing. But if you have markers, that's also fine. And what I would like to all of you to do is to draw an outline of your hand. So you just make an outline, and then taking 5 minutes, bringing this imprint that you had in your mind on the paper. So using the color that you have seen, and really replicating the touch, as if you have put your hands in the color and put them on the wall. I will put some music at the background and a timer, and enjoy the creation. Right. So you have your drawing, and I would like you to reflect on it. So have a look at it and answer these two questions without overthinking it. What do you see and what is missing? You have 1 minute and write answers on in your notebook. Again, ideally 1 to 3 words, no more. Keep it simple. What do you see and what is missing? Perfect. So right now you should already have quite a few words in your notebook, and you will get some more this time, getting a perspective from some of the peers in this room. So I will put you in the breakout rooms, and you will be in pairs, so you and a partner, and you will have 6 minutes together, so 3 minutes each. You will take rounds. And what will happen in the room is one of you shows their painting, their drawing, and the other person will look at it and describe it. And will describe it with what we call aesthetic analysis and expressive art. Now, this might sound complicated, but it's actually very easy. It's about staying very objective, stay at the surface. So no personal assumption or personal interpretation of the image, but really describing what is there objectively. I will give you examples. You can now see some the cards. So there are two ideal approaches, and you can use both of them or just focus on one. So you can describe the sensory properties of the image, meaning, sorry, I have to flip it instead of moving. So what colors do you see? What are the shapes on the drawing? How deep is the perspective? Are there is there more than one shape, or are there lines? Are they thick? Are they long? Are they short? Are they connecting each other? So all of these sensory properties, and also formal properties. So what is the form? What are the forms you are seeing? So the way how the art or the drawing is organized. Are there shapes that are repeating? What is their relation to each other? Is maybe one thing that is really prominent and other one is kind of fading? Is there something that you are missing in terms of the organization of the art piece? You will have these prompts in your breakout rooms, so you will see them on the side and you can always come back to them. And please don't worry if you're like, I don't know if I picked all the points. It doesn't really matter. What is important, focus on your partner's drawing, stay at the surface, no personal interpretation, and let's have a bit of fun with it. And while you are holding your drawing and your partner is talking about it, keep listening, actively listening. And if there is a word or a phrase that really catches your attention, for whatever reason, just note it down. So you end up having another 3 words after this breakout. Any questions, or are we ready to? If you're ready to go, or maybe if there are questions, raise your hand. This is maybe better for me to know if I can send you. Anna Maria?
How much time do we have?
Yes, so you have 6 minutes in total. So 3 minutes each partner.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, here we go. Welcome back, everyone.
Hi.
Did you manage to switch roles and do some feedback?
What we did.
Okay. All right. So, as a final step, now we are coming to an end, at least an end of this creative process. We will write a short haiku. So I think that all of you have heard what haiku is at least once in their life, or if not, it's this like short form of poem that comes from Japan. It doesn't have to rhyme, or it usually doesn't rhyme. It's only 3 lines, but we will not be so restrictive about it here. So we will give it a bit of a more open form. So what is important is that haiku usually captures a moment in time that gives us an opportunity to pause and to appreciate the beauty of the world around us. And this haiku will be for us to appreciate ourselves and our personal touch. So you will write a haiku from the words that you have collected throughout the session. You should have a notebook full of them and use them as a inspiration. You don't have to put all of them in the haiku, maybe just some of them that you feel that resonate with you at the moment. You can also add some other words to make some connections. Yeah, and you will end up with 3 to 5 lines short, unrhymed poem, which is going to have a title, Your Personal Touch. And let's see what poem will get born. Ana Maria?
Can we maybe do a quick definition of what a haiku is for those of us that don't know, or maybe give an example
Yes.
in case there's someone that doesn't know how they look like or how to build one?
Okay, yes. So I wrote an example of haiku in the agenda. I don't know if you all see it, but it's here we have one from Matsuo Bacho, a Japanese poet. In Kyoto, hearing the cuckoo, I long for Kyoto. So something that leaves an impression, just few words that make some sense together. Would it be enough as a explanation? Because normally haiku has also like strict rules about how many syllabuses and how many lines there should be, but let's not bother about this here for this purpose. So let's think of it as a poem that doesn't have to rhyme, and it's very short, and it's made with from the words that you have collected throughout the session. And it's here for you to appreciate yourself and your personal touch as a facilitator or as a human being, or both. Yeah, if you're ready, you can also share the haiku with us in the chat if you feel comfortable with it. Wow, I'm reading the haikus and just having a smile on my face. They are so beautiful. Mm. If you haven't added your haiku in the chat, feel free to do so. If you want to just keep it for yourself, that's also completely fine, because at the end, this session was mainly for you and to get a bit of nourishment and relaxation, and also be some confidence, learning more about yourself. And I hope that this has happened. Normally, I would like go a bit more in the sharing, but we have only 10 minutes left, and this is usually the time for the feedback for the session, because it's a sandbox session. And this was my first time facilitating for the facilitators. So I would also truly appreciate if you give few words to me and give some feedback to me. I have stolen or borrowed an activity from Anna Maria in Thorns, which is a great way how to somehow express what went super well, where maybe potentials for improvements, and what was maybe a bit of a failure, or like blind spots that really could be improved. And I welcome those as well, because I'm always super open to constructive criticism to improve and really understand what could have been done better. So we will start the polls now for you to type those 3 types of feedback in. And since we are running out a bit late and some of you might need to drop out of the session before we finish, I also created Google form survey that only should take 5 minutes to fill out. It's slightly different to what we will be doing now in the session. So if you have time after the session, even tomorrow or in a week, I would really appreciate if you fill it out and share the feedback there with me as well. I'm sharing it in the chat. There is the link for the survey for those of you who need to run a bit earlier. Otherwise, we can go into the feedback activity. Can we, Andrea? Or is there anything else we should mention for those who will need to maybe leave us before?
I think we're doing just fine. Feel free to also unmute yourself and share any comments or reactions that you have for today's session. Otherwise, I'm just going to start the poll right now. You're going to see a text box where you can type in your text and then make sure to click submit so that we can actually get your response.
Yeah, and we will be staying here a little bit longer with Andrea. So if you have a bit more time as well and then are open for some verbal feedback, that's much appreciated as well, to just talk about a session or your experience. How did it go?
I'm going to leave it open for about 30 seconds more, and then I'm going to switch to the next question. If there's anyone who wants to also unmute and share their thoughts, feel free to do so. The same idea now, but with a different question, right? So identify the bugs of this session or the opportunities or the potential that needs to be tapped into more. Ana Maria?
Nothing, mistake. By accident.
I was actually thinking whether to mention not to check out the agenda, and now I'm seeing I should have for the next time. That's great comment. Can I ask the person who wrote more engaging sessions for creative thinking if you are fine with sharing or like elaborating a little bit on that? Because I'm not sure if I got it or got the meaning of it. Yeah, and totally getting it about the debriefing and more time to talk to each other or like have some time to share in the main room. I wish for that as well. And maybe it's good to know like less activities and more sharing for the next time. Yeah, I always find it hard to balance between the two. Thank you, Laura, as well, if you are leaving. Thank you, Emma. Thanks for joining.
Shall I move to the final question, Katka? What do you think? If you have any things that were confusing or challenging or unclear, make sure you type your answer in the chat right now, in the poll right now, sorry. And yeah, I do want to thank everyone for joining and contributing today. It's been awesome. What can we do about those drawings? Send some pictures in the chat of those, right?
I so want to see them. I feel like if I don't see people's drawings, today is going to be...
You're not going to get closure from today.
Show you this evening. AJ, yeah.
Show me yours and I'll show mine.
Come on, I have an idea. Everybody put their drawings on the camera.
Oh, nice. AJ, yours is quite similar to mine to some extent.
Yeah.
But not very.
Yeah, with the
There's a lot of yellow as well, Andrea. Nice.
Yeah, and it's very like I love them. They are so vibrant. Your Ace and Anna Maria, like really.
I went all in.
I love it.
That's why you wanted to share it. I get it now.
No. I was so curious. Because Emma was with me in the breakout, and hers was very like we were really different drawings, and then I was like, wow, it's so different. I want to see how different they all are actually. That's what was that was the surprising part to me.
Yeah, it should have been done actually, and we should have taken a screenshot of all of them.
Make a note of this for next time.
Yes. All right. I don't know if anyone else is...
Oh, you hanged it on your wall, Ete. That's so nice. Awesome.
Oh, lovely.
In the process of decorating my office.
I'll put it in the
section
to decorate your room. Yeah. No, thanks for everyone for joining. Actually, I don't know, I may be really running out of time, but I was like, the main question I have is whether you can imagine this process to be, or like the expressive arts being applied to some business client sessions, and what are the contexts that you can imagine it to be useful or helpful or bringing value. I don't know if this is something we have time to discuss now, but maybe you can also drop me a message if you.
And it's always good to live with a reflection or a question in mind, right?
Yes. So this would be my main question. Yeah.
I think that as like warm-ups or for ideation sessions, brainstorming in general, I think also it would be a nice session for a team retreat to facilitate conversations around creativity or maybe perception or viewpoints, perspectives, how we're all different, something like that. Maybe for a team retreat, team building. I think that's what comes to mind. Ece, what about you?
I think the most, for me, personal, like in my personal experience, the most powerful feeling was hearing someone else's description of what I made and then creating something with that, including my own words. So I think the most powerful part was that, but it kind of, I mean, in the overall process, the whole emphasis was not on this, but more on the human touch. So I think the balance, I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. But like, I think at the beginning, it's more like a personal thing, but I think the biggest value from this, what I get was the collaboration. So maybe, there was a bit of disconnection between the beginning and the end. That was what I'm trying to.
So for me to hear, to be honest, I think it was a bit limiting to have just 1 hour, because at least for me, I find it hard to go into this deep insight and like collaboration or exchange between humans when they are not in this state of openness. And so I always struggle like how to do that faster. But it's great to hear that you found value in it, and it makes me think of like maybe how to put more emphasis on that, or how to.
I think it's because this is like a community event, and then I always think about as like how we can use this as a community event or like a facilitation. So how we can use this for bringing connections within people. I mean, so I guess it's good that we kind of connected to ourselves, but I would like it to be an individual experience, if that makes sense.
Yes. More focus on the connection in the community. And I mean, this was just one example how to use expressive arts. I think like you can build an experience that is totally just about connection and sharing. So I will try to build one like that and test it with some other group.
But you definitely need more than 1 hour if you want to go into
for sure
debriefing and thought and that. For sure. Because you can also not rush these things. Like for me, I felt that for an hour you packed a lot of things and it felt very easy, breezy. I didn't feel rushed. I like the grounding at the beginning. So actually for the time that we had, we got to experience several moments. So
cool. All right.
Thank you very much, Katka. This was great.
Thanks
everyone for joining, and Andrea for co-hosting.
Yeah, thank you so much, Andrea. Thanks for all the help, for the tech help and the support, and
no worries.
And also for inviting me, and thanks for everyone for joining and your input.
Thank you for participating. Really, it's been awesome.
Right.
See y'all soon.
Have a lovely rest of the day. Bye.
Yeah, bye-bye. Bye.